All right. We are live. Yo, yo, yo. What is good, everybody? This is the Godfather of VR, the ageless wonder, the man, Lincoln Clay, coming at you with a late night live stream. Probably not the best time to do this. It's 10:15 p.m. over here on the East Coast. And I know over in the UK, I'd imagine people are asleep over there. Probably going to get up in a couple of hours so they can get ready for work. I know over here on the East Coast, if people aren't asleep yet, they will be soon, because I will be one of them. I plan to have this wrapped up by 11 o'clock. So that probably leaves the West Coast as to who might still be awake. So, but, I did want to talk about this. As you can see by this picture here, my gun stock arrived for my Oculus Quest, Oculus Rift, as well as the link cable for the Oculus Quest. But before I get into that, I want to start off by giving a shout out to Eric for President, a big YouTuber who's passionate about VR. I was in a session playing Pavlov with him a little while ago, and I got to give credit where credit is due. That Eric for President is an assassin. That dude was murdering people. He's not just he's just not some YouTuber that's just making videos that doesn't play games. He was he was so good at Pavlov. It almost seemed like he don't do nothing else, but that's how good he was. One of the sessions, he had the most kills with 51 kills. And that's saying a lot. So, yeah, that dude, he was a straight killer. So, a big shout out to him. Appreciate him letting me jump into his session. We were, I was in there for about an hour. I didn't get too many kills because he was racking up all the kills. And so, with that being said, I go ahead and move on and talk about this gun stock and this link cable that I picked up. So, give another shout out to Gamertag VR. I saw his video, and he put a link in the description for a site called GoQuest VR, and that is where I got the link cable from, and that's where I've got the stock from, the gun stock from. So I tried them both out, and I wanted to give my quick thoughts on what I think. So I will start with the gun stock. The gun stock is cool, but I think this, at least this one in particular, is for certain situations. Naturally it's not ideal to try to use this with handguns, and I also feel like it helps with rifles, but with automatic rifles, I don't think it helps all that much. And that's not anything against the gun stock, because the gun stock is cool. The reason why I say that is because the automatic rifles on Pavlov have so much recoil that if you pull that trigger and if you don't tap the trigger or shoot in short bursts, the gun basically, just rises. Cold Yogurt, what's up? So this, so I think the perfect situation to use this gun stock is with rifles that have scopes on them, and the 50 cal in particular. So what I found myself having to do was place the controllers of the Quest or the Rift S into these cups, and when you place them into the cups, you can't wear the straps because the controllers won't fit into those cups if you're wearing the straps for the controllers. and you fire a gun, and when you have to reload, drop the clip out, you'll have to take the controller out of the cup so it can, so you can use it as your left hand, reload the gun and do the normal motions to reload the gun. And then when you're ready to take the shot again, place it back in the cup. So I found that to be a somewhat cumbersome. So, and then this gun stock may not be ideal for a pump shotgun. Like at the front of the gun stock, the cup at the front of the gun stock, I left it loose so it can slide back and forth whenever I use a pump shotgun. Because if I fixed it in place, then you wouldn't be able to, use a pump shotgun. You would have to take it out of the cup. You said aim gun still better? If you're talking about the aim controller over on the PlayStation side, yes. So I guess, what I'm saying about this gun stock is I don't think it makes much of a difference, because like it's a you kind of doing a little bit of work. You got the gun stock, you got that shoulder strap, so it's hanging off to your side. So when you get hold of a rifle, you got to pick it up, place it in this cup, and then you shoot, and then you take it out of this cup to reload, pop the clip in, hold it, and pop the controller back in that cup again. It sounds pretty simple, but when you're trying to do this in the heat of battle, and you're trying to, do all this stuff quick enough to get another shot off, I found with automatic weapons, I was better off just using, the standard way of playing. But I will say, with scopes, that's a game changer right there, because when you play Pavlov and you have guns with scopes, and you try to do it like this, your arms are moving all over the place, so you can't steady that scope. But I will say with that gun stock, yes, you can steady that scope, because I was actually able to get a couple of headshots with rifles, with high-powered rifles with scopes on them. So to sum it all up, I would say that it's for certain situations. So if I'm playing Pavlov, if I have a handgun or if I have an automatic rifle with iron sights, I won't use the gun stock, because like I said, the recoil of the automatic weapons don't really, the gun stock to me doesn't really help that much, because unless you shoot in short bursts, but if you pull that trigger and just let it go, the gun's just going to rise. But so yeah, again, when it comes to handguns and automatic weapons, no, I won't use the gun stock. But when it comes to high-powered rifles with scopes, like the 50 cal, yeah, I'm definitely using this gun stock for that. And because that 50 cal is the one-hitter quitter, you can hit a person anywhere and they're dead with one shot. So it was actually pretty cool using this gun stock for the high-powered rifles with scopes. So when my son comes over this weekend, he's waiting to try this out. He's looking forward to this. He was looking forward to this getting here so he can try it out. So basically what I'm going to do is when he comes over on Saturday, I'll have him try it out. And if he likes it, then I'll go ahead and stream it, and I'll set up the webcam so you guys can see him use it, because my son is much better at Pavlov than I am. My son's he's a beast. In my opinion, my son's a beast with Pavlov, and I think this gun stock might be enough to tip the scales definitely in his favor, where he can hold his own against the best of them. So ultimately with this gun stock, I think it's cool, but ultimately my plan was to go ahead and give it to my son, which I'm still going to do. But after that, I was going to decide whether to get another one for myself. But I'm just going to go ahead and give it to my son. And I don't know if I'll get one for myself. Because it's kind of a lot of transitioning between putting it in cups and, holding it and letting it drop, all that kind of stuff. It's not a bad thing. It's just, it takes some getting used to. Pug, what's up? How you doing? So I would say at the end of the day, I think it's more positives to this gun stock than negatives. So again, it's situational. Just use it for rifles with scopes. Now my son, since he's much better at this, at Pavlov than I am, we'll see how he works with it. So with that being said, let's move on to the next one. If you look at the picture and you see the gun stock, right below it is a link cable. And I also got this. You said that's awkward doing all that with. Yeah, it is, cold yogurt. That's just that's the whole thing. It was awkward. Now, I think with this gun stock, I would like it more if the cups sat permanent, like if the controller sat in the cups permanently, and there was magnets there where you could just pop it off, and then when you're ready to pop it back on there, then there's magnets holding them together. Because that's the real awkward part, is placing them in, taking them out of the cup and putting them back into the cup, because you have to do that and still try to keep your fingers, like you still got to hold the grip button. You got to hold the grip button or release it depending on what you're doing, and then try to avoid hitting the other buttons. So, what's up, Project X? What's going on? So, but it's cool. I'll try to, I'll keep messing with it and try to get used to it. But I really want to see my son go to work with it. So let's talk about this link cable. Excuse me. You see a coil in the bottom. Same thing. I got it from GoQuest VR. Again, courtesy of the video I saw from Gamertag VR. And this link cable was $28. And I'll start off by saying it's definitely worth the $28, because the fiber optic cable that Oculus made for the Oculus Link is an $80 cable. And I've been seeing people using cables that were as cheap as $15. Pug, you said, I was trying to get these PlayStation Player Celebration themes and avatars, but I don't see them in or on the PSN store. To get, how did JTech TV get them so early? Damn it, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't go out of my way to get those themes anymore and stuff. I'm not really into them like that no more. But I would say hit him up and ask him how he got them. So, back to this cable. This cable is 16 feet long. It has the elbow design at the front, and it was $28. And I think it's worth it. So I plugged it into the computer, plugged the other one into the Quest. When I fired up the Quest, there was instantly a screen that popped up asking me if I wanted to enable the link cable. I hit enable. It ran a couple of updates, and boom! It was like the Rift S. I was in the Rift S environment, and so I wanted to go test a couple of games. So I tested The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, and I tested Lone Echo. And so 5 minutes apiece on both of those games told me what I needed to know. Starting with the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, it looked pretty good. I would probably say, naturally because the Rift S is native, the Rift S, like the colors, with the colors, the Quest, through the link cable, the colors, the blacks were probably a little bit deeper, but for the most part, both of them look good. But I would probably say with the Rift S, the picture was a little bit sharper. Project X picked up any Rift S? Oh, you said picked up a Rift S. Any recommendations for longer cables? I got some off Amazon, but they just show static. You trying to get a cable that's longer than the one that came with the Rift S? Because I think that cable's 10 feet. I definitely don't have any recommendations. So, the best way to describe this link cable, like using the Walking Dead for an example, as soon as you say longer? No, I don't know. The only thing that I can think of, and I don't even know if that would work, is to get cold yogurt. So your Rift S came back. You're good? Yeah. Well, it was replaced. My Rift S was replaced. Unless you're speaking to Project X. So when I popped in the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, I could instantly tell that link cable looked better than the Oculus Rift CV1. But the picture wasn't as sharp as the Rift S, but it still looked good. Do not get me wrong. The edges, through the Oculus Link cable, the edges were probably slightly soft. They weren't razor sharp like the Rift S, but it still looked damn good. So no question about it that it looked better than the CV1. And this is all default settings, because I didn't mess around with the settings on the Rift S or this link cable. So whatever the default settings are, that's what I went with. So based on default settings, this link cable looks better than the CV1, but it's not as sharp as the Rift S. And then I jumped over to Lone Echo, and I damn near couldn't tell the difference. And I'm serious about that. I mean, the Rift S was slightly sharper than the link cable, but just barely. I mean, like by that much. So all in all, what am I trying to say? If somebody has a gaming PC and they were to come to me and say, what do you recommend? Do you recommend the Oculus Quest with a link cable, or do you recommend the Rift S? I would tell them it all depends on what is more important to you. If you want the sharpest picture possible, I would tell them to go with the Rift S. But if you want the advantages of what the link cable does for you, is like having two headsets, I would tell them to get the Quest and the link cable, because you plug it into the PC and you are pretty damn close to the Rift S. In terms of the picture quality and the sharpness, you are pretty damn close to the Rift S. And then when you unplug it, you have the mobility and the freedom of the Oculus Quest. So that link cable, yeah, I can see why people were breaking their necks trying to get these cables. Not necessarily the one that Oculus makes, but just any cable. Because there's a few cables that do work. So yeah, I didn't need that cable, but I bought it as backup. So the next time, like if my Rift S craps out on me, then that link cable right there is my backup, where I can use the Quest, as a Rift S. And hey, it's $28. It's $28 well spent. So with that being said, I give them both a thumbs up. So pretty much that link cables from now is, at this point, it's just going to go in the closet. The only other thing about that link cable is because of where the USB C port is, the USB-C, yes, the USB-C port at the front of the Oculus Quest. It's one of those things where, just like Mike of Virtual Reality Oasis suggested, I would have to get a piece of Velcro to attach it to the back so the cord can hang over the back of my shoulder, rather than dangling from the front right here, because that was a little bit, distracting. So, but other than that, yeah, I mean, I only bought that cord as backup, so the next time the Rift S craps out on me or something like that, I got my back out. The game recommendations for the Rift S? Well, the game recommendations aren't necessarily going to be the Oculus exclusives, because Oculus has got some good exclusive, but you can find some good games on Steam too. So based on the games that I have, I would recommend Lone Echo. I would recommend Asgard's Wrath. What I've played of Stormland isn't bad, but I'm only like an hour into Stormland, whereas Asgard's Wrath, I probably had about 6 or 7 hours in the Asgard's Wrath, but that's got like up to 30 hours of gameplay. And I think Stormland's got like, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 from what I heard. And I believe Lone Echo is about 6 or 7 hours of gameplay. But I still think Lone Echo is still the best looking VR game that I've ever seen. Cold Yogurt, you said I panicked when my new Knuckles had analog issues, but when I blow on it a few times it worked. Now no issues. Okay, cool. Project X. Now I definitely will recommend this game for you in the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, but do not. I would recommend that you go to a site like G2A, because the game normally sells for $40, and I was curious about the game, but I did not want to spend $40 for it. You said, do you need to install Steam VR? Yeah, for the most part, but I think it might already be in there. Well, I think what'll happen is, like, if you buy a game on Steam and you go to play that game, if Steam VR isn't already installed, it'll prompt you to install it. So it's no big deal. But what I was going to say is The Walking Dead, I would recommend that game, but do not buy it at the Oculus store. And in my opinion, don't buy it at Steam. Because I bought The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners through the site G2A. I bought it for $20. And again, you know, with the Saints and Sinners, it's a game that I was curious about, but I didn't want to spend $40 for it because I knew it was a game that I wasn't going to be playing a lot of. You know, I was just going to be chipping away at it. And I'm going to try to finish this game. It's going to take a while because I get back to it here and there. Chady, not sure if you talked because you came in late, but try and bump up the resolution of the quest when using Quest Link. Heard it makes a difference. Would you be interested to hear how doing that compares? As I was saying, you know, like what I did so far, the comparisons that I did so far, that's default settings. I didn't touch anything on the Rift S or the Quest Link. I didn't touch either of them. But yes, you can see that the Rift S was still a little bit sharper, but that Quest Link looked pretty doggone good. It's just that the Rift S, the edges were sharper. You know, I was playing Saints and Sinners, and I'm in that area where that bus is at from that guy Henry. I was looking at his bus, and you know the edges of the bus looked sharper. Whereas when I looked at it through the Quest Link, the edges of the bus, you know, looked slightly soft, but it still looked good. The colors were there. I think, you know, the Quest Link, you know, had deeper blacks, but but all in all, you know, my final verdict on it is that, you know, as I said earlier, if someone were to come to me and say, I already have a gaming PC, but I'm trying to decide between the Rift S and the Quest with a link cable, if they were to ask me, what do you recommend? I would tell them, if you want the best possible picture in terms of sharpness, I would tell them to get the Rift S. But if that's not the top priority, then I would tell them to get the Quest with the link cable, because you will still get damn good quality, you know, PC quality through the Quest with the link cable. And then when you disconnect it, now you got your Quest. You still had the mobility and the freedom of the Quest. So through that link cable, it's like having two headsets. It's like having the Rift S. It's like having like having a Rift S, and like, you know, and then you got your Quest when it's not plugged in. So that's the bottom line. I would say the only reason why I would recommend the Rift S over the link cable to 81 is if sharpness is their top concern, if they want the absolute sharpest picture. So, but the thing about the link cable, I just bought it for backup because I just bought it for backup in case my Rift S goes out. You know, my Rift S has a warranty. It will be replaced by Best Buy, but because of this drought, with nobody having any headsets, if my Rift S goes out again, then I already know I'm going to be without a headset for about a week. So this will do nicely as a filler until I would get a new headset. So, I gotta be honest. If they would have put this link cable in motion, and I would have ended up trying the Quest and this link cable before the Rift S, then I'm not entirely sure I would have got a Rift S, because with the CV1, I thought the CV1 was a good headset for the most part. It's just had that a little bit of blur around the outside. Things that were up close or things that were dead in the middle were sharp. It was around the outside, things were a little bit blurry. In the case of the Rift S, and the case of this Oculus Link cable, no, it's not. It's a nice picture. Nice and clear. No blur around the edges and that kind of stuff. So. But Project X coming back to G2A. In addition to Saints and Sinners, I would just type in VR, and then there is a ton of games for sale on G2A. Some of those games are as cheap as $1. So some of the games you will save some money. Some of them, if you're only going to save $2 or $3, then no, it's not worth it to me. I would just go ahead and buy it through Steam because of their return policy. But a situation like what I came across, where the game normally sells for $40 and I was able to get it for $20 through G2A, then that was worth it because it was a game that I was interested in. I just didn't want to spend the $40 for it. So definitely check out G2A. And I haven't really messed around with Humble Bumble that much, so I can't really say, other than that deal they got going on with that VR bundle. But definitely check out G2A because you will see a ton of games there. So, but still keep your eye out on Steam as well because stuff's always on sale on Steam. It's Oculus that's a little bit stingy. They don't always, it's hard. They pretty much don't put their exclusives on sale. Is it digital or physical disc? Greenman Gaming Good too? Okay. And Cold Yogurt, you said is it digital or physical disc? It's digital. When you buy games from G2A, basically, I pay for the game, and then the code they'll release a code to me once I pay for it, and then I just go to Steam, and then go to games in the upper left-hand corner, and then just click on in the drop window, just click on activate a product on Steam and type in the code, and then it'll show you what it was that you what game it is, and then just start the download. So I will say that Saints and Sinners was worth the $20. Matter of fact, let me go check and see if they still got some, because when I bought Saints and Sinners off of G2A, I bought the cheapest one that was available. It was like $20.13, but there was another one that was like $20.60. Another one that was $21. So let me check G2A right now and see what we got. Yeah, people been buying these codes for Saints and Sinners because the cheapest one that I'm seeing right here is $29.08. Jay Swoles was good. The next cheapest one is $21. No, I'm sorry, not 21. $29.08 is the cheapest one for Saints and Sinners. But I think they might tax you a little bit of a percentage. Like I think they might charge you like another $2 or something like that for some kind of fee that they charge or something like that. So you would ultimately be paying like $30 or $31 for the game. I don't know. I guess, at that price, that's something to really think about, because it would save you $9, but if you end up not liking the game, then you're just out $30. Whereas you could go to Steam and buy the game for the full $40, and if you don't like it, then you can ask for a refund. And if you have, I think if you have less than 2 hours played and it hasn't been, I think, like 14 days, I think you can get a refund for the game. But I think you'll end up like Saints and Sinners. I think you'll end up liking the game. If you like zombie games, I think you'll end up liking it. So hell, you know, if you were to buy it off of G2A for $29, you know, the $9, $10, or $11 that you would save, you could still use that to buy another game or two off of Steam, or to buy another game or two off of G2A, because again, you know, if you just type in VR in the search, you know, I've seen games on there for as low as $1. See here, Arizona Sunshine for $13.51. Batman Arkham VR for $4.42. Whatever this Victor Vran is, that's $1.92. See here, Creed, $23.37. Project X, you said I have GTA 5. Is that Oculus compatible or is it a mod? That is a mod. You'll have to watch some YouTube videos to learn how to do that mod. In my case, I bought the game off of Steam. It was on sale for about $15, and I went to go do the mod, you know, to put the VR mod in there. And I got the link for the file that I needed, but there was a file missing within that file, so I wasn't able to completely follow through with the mod. So I just never came back around to it. But yeah, you'll have to watch some YouTube videos on how to you know, install the mod. See here, I'm trying to see what else looks like might be some good deals in here. Now the higher quality games, these people selling these games on G2A, they know, you know, they know the deal. They charge cheap enough to like that, you know, it's cheaper than the going rate, but not that much cheaper. So game called Bleeding Hunt VR, Chapter 1, $2.12. That's basically like a Jurassic Park type experience. I mean, yeah, you shooting at the dinosaurs and stuff coming at you, but it's a little bit creepy when that T-Rex gets so close to you that he could almost open his mouth and, you know, and just eat you. But yeah, there's a ton of games at G2A. You know, it's the older games that's really, really dirt cheap. The newer games, you know, they're cheaper than retail, but you know, it's kind of hit or miss with some of that. But yeah, that Saints and Sinners, at the time that I bought mine, People must have been snatching those up because, like I said, I saw about 3 of those codes. They were about 20 or 21 bucks, and they're gone. So, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up in a few minutes. Lately, I've been watching Twitch. I've been debating about whether to go back to doing live streams on Twitch because a couple of days ago, like one of the things I like about Twitch that I think is to me is better than YouTube is if there's a particular game that I want to see, right? Okay, like bottom line, FIFA 20. Like the FIFA games, I suck at the FIFA games. I don't play them because I suck at them, and I don't really play flat screen games anymore. But I do like watching people that are good at these games play. So what happens is I type in FIFA 20 at YouTube, and it'll show you a bunch of videos. Whereas on God damn it, Twitch, I type in FIFA 20 at Twitch, and it'll show you all the live streams that are going on first, and then the recorded videos. So I went into the live stream, and I found this guy named Crispy TV. He was playing FIFA, and he had 600 people watching him. The biggest reason why I brought that up was because his chat was just getting flooded, but he was still trying to answer everybody. You know, I made a couple of comments, and it took him a minute to get to me, but he still answered my questions. So I was like, all right, dude, seemed cool. Let me go ahead and follow him. So where I'm getting at is anything that I feel like watching, and you type in that particular game, it'll show you the live streams first. I watch JD Max. I watch his streams of iRacing, but I also wanted to see some of the other people that play iRacing. So I typed in iRacing in the search, and it showed all the live streams first. So I was able to bounce around to a bunch of live streams of iRacing. Same thing with Pavlov. So that made me think that maybe I would possibly going back to doing more streams on Twitch, which I will, because I actually did a stream yesterday on Twitch. I did a GT Sports stream on Twitch. It didn't get any views because I haven't put up anything in God knows how long, but I'm going to try to do some streams here and there on Twitch because I just like the thought of like when I discovered that Crispy TV guy. The guy was a beast at FIFA. He was pretty damn good, and he was taking time to to interact with the chat. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, but that's how I've been wrapping up my nights lately. Is watching people live stream on Twitch. Because in the case of YouTube, if I want to watch somebody streaming, what's my Twitch name? It's same deal. It's Lincoln Clay, but I think it's Lincoln Clay with an underscore. Just a minute. Let me go to Twitch and make sure. Let me get it exactly right. Yep, it's Lincoln Clay with an underscore. Let me see here. I'm typing it in right now. Right there, that Lincoln Clay with an underscore, that is my Twitch channel. That is also my Steam and my Oculus name. So if you want, you can shoot me a friend request through Oculus or Steam. Yeah, that Crispy TV, he just went live, so I'm gonna boogie on out of here shortly and go watch him play FIFA. And if JD Max, if he streams tonight, because like JD Max, I think he streams about 3-4 times a week. I believe, and I think it's usually around this time. He streamed yesterday, and I watched this stream yesterday. He's pretty good. He's pretty good at iRacing. So he's soft spoken though. I mean, if he talked any softer than he does, it would be a whisper. You barely hear him, but he's pretty good. He's pretty good at iRacing. So I think that is all I got. I'm starting to yawn. I'm trying to fight this shit. So I think it's time for me to go ahead and throw in the towel. Because if I don't, you guys will see me yawning every few minutes. So